We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
And now, Reality Rants with Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here. And we're just going to ask some really, I think, legitimate questions on this one. And here's the deal. I realize that this topic is probably a lot less serious than the vast majority of what I talk about on this program. But you know I like to have a little fun here and there. And when there are things out there that are unanswered and it interests me, I can't help but dig into them. Now, I do want to say this out of the gates. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a fun video for Bill Burr. And, you know, I did some digging because basically we're going to do a quick synopsis of this and then we're going to go over it in a moment. You had the Howie Mandel show. Billy Corgan comes on and he tells a story of his father being the father of Bill Burr, and that he was told this by his stepmother. Saw him on television, asked him if he knew who he was, and she told him that basically her father, or his father, who was supposedly a traveling musician, had sired him on the road. Okay? Now, that ends. There's some stories about it. I look into it. I can't find anything about it. And I can't really find much on Bill Burr's father at all. Okay? But I don't know whether it's a gag. I don't know whether it's real, etc. Then Bill Burr does Howie Mandel's podcast. Now, I watched it from the very beginning. And Bill Burr's like really upset throughout the whole thing beforehand. And then Billy Corgan comes on and we'll get heavier into the exchange. But Billy Corgan also owns NWA Wrestling. Okay? So there's a lot of it, the awkwardness, the fact that, again, I'd never seen or heard the voice of Billy Corgan's father. I thought it was a gag and a bit. We're going to get deep into that in a moment. So by the end of it, this thing, I think it's a gag and a bit, and I think it's like Andy Kaufman style. Okay, for those not familiar with Andy Kaufman, here in the thumbnail, he's in the background. He also was very much involved in like pro wrestling hoaxes, and I thought this was maybe a long game. Even at the end of that podcast, they leave all the mics running for like a minute afterwards to see if you can like pick up on what the conversation is afterward. And, you know, you think maybe it's a gag. Later on, Rich Eisen asks Bill Burr about it in another interview, and Burr's really short about it. But again, I thought, like, if you had given me by the numbers, I would have given it I don't know, 80, 90% fake, that they got together and it was going to be a big gag, 10, 20% real. I've now flipped those numbers on the other side of these videos you're going to see for the first time. They're really nowhere that I've seen, at least put together on the internet. So when you see these, it's going to be pretty difficult to not see the correlation between why Bill Burr is more than likely Billy Corgan's brother. Now, we're going to get into all of it. I know there might be some new people here. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Yeah, I'm teasing the videos, guys, because we're going to go through the story. But again, these videos are really going to let you make up your own mind throughout this whole thing. Need your support. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. The Cup of Joe link and many other links are down below. Follow me on X. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how Grok actually goes through. I asked it about the suppression of my account on X, and it's pretty wild, the response. So right now, Snopes has this up, okay? And rightfully so, you know, but here's the other thing. I haven't seen anybody do like a legit article on this or dig or get comments after the fact from either of them on how real this is. And, you know, again, we're going to get into the whole interview, but there's no proof Bill Burr and Billy Corgan are brothers. Fair enough. Fair enough. So we're going to take you through the story. Here it is. Like I said, Billy Corgan comes on. He tells this wild story about his dad. Now, we're going to get into, you know, some of the other things, but when you watch this, very much could be an Andy Kaufman. You know, he's even in the WWE Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying, folks? He's a Hall of Famer right there. So, very well could have been a Kaufman-esque bit. Anybody can go check out that podcast or the segment, right? So then Bill Burr gets asked about it on Rich Eisen, and he's still really uncomfortable about it. And that's really where I started digging deeper. Okay, so Billy Corgan had a pretty rough relationship with his dad, had a younger disabled brother, stayed with a bunch of different family members throughout the years, has told wild stories about his father. He tells that his father was a drug dealer. He says he was homeless at some points. He says that he stole money from him. And then tells another wild story about like later in life. And I did really big, deep digging on this whole thing, guys. I promise you that. Later in life, his dad was with this woman, and her sister won the lottery, like $27 million, and set them up. So this guy, if he is the father of Billy Corgan and Bill Burr, and apparently had them roughly at the same time, maybe one of the luckiest guys in the world. All right? Now, this is what he looked like. Take a look. Okay? I mean, right there, young, I could see, and this is him older. We're going to get into those shots in a minute. I could see actually kind of both of them. I can see where he's Billy Corgan's dad, and that's not in dispute. And by the way, he's got the little snaggle tooth. We'll get into that. Here he is, the father, later in life with Billy, and here's a couple of videos. We're going to show you these videos, okay, among other videos, and we're going to let you guys decide. But Howie Mandel has apologized, says he feels awful. Now, the way that this comes about, and here I'm going to get in a little bit of a rant before I get into Bill Burr, is that apparently Howie Mandel owns a bunch of property, and he's out, he sees Billy Corgan, who's in one of his buildings, like has recording stuff going on there. And he just sees Bill Burr, points to Bill Burr, he goes, hey, there goes Bill Burr. And Corgan goes, hey, wait, do you know that story? And so he tells the story that we told earlier. And then Howie goads him and says, oh, you got to tell that on air. And it's never been told publicly, right? Now, again, could be a bit set up, any of that stuff. No doubt about it. That's why I was leaning towards all of it. However, when you see and hear this guy, he is a dead ringer. I mean, a dead ringer for Bill Burr. Now, here's the conflict that I have. And you know, Howie Mandel's a weirdo anyway. And in that Rich Eisen interview, Bill Burr, who's never pulled any punches, calls him a Hollywood whore. Okay? Now, F is for Family is out there. And Bill Burr has kind of been emotional about his father in his act in the past. And by the way, Bill Burr, really smart guy. I think one of my first forays into interviewing comedians back in the InfoWars days, when I had the Info Warrior, I interviewed him. I interviewed Patrice O'Neal. When I was substituting for Jones, I interviewed Tommy Chong. You know, stuff I'll never forget. And when I was talking to Burr then, he talked a lot of quote-unquote conspiracies. A lot of them came true. But he had tapped out from that. Now, I went through a bunch of Bill Burr interviews. I was trying to find if I could find a picture of Bill Burr and his dad. Apparently, there's a podcast where while he's recording it, his dad calls him up and it's on the podcast. If anyone has a voice or a physical interaction with Bill Burr's actual father, I'd love to see it, because I've been wrong in the past, baby. And even on this issue, I've with more evidence, I've changed my position. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. So, you know, getting back to the show and Frank Murphy, there are videos out there of Bill Burr, and I've watched them for years. Like, he used to do the "I'll put you through the wall" bit, and then that became part of the show, right? So there's this vision in your mind of this guy as a hardworking family man, just kind of misunderstood. I found a video where Bill Burr almost breaks down into tears, talking about bringing a girl home to meet her father and mother, his father and mother. So, like, he's always given, like, the perspective that the dad and mom stuck together, too, which would contradict this story. You know, again, some of the other things that were off about the interview, Billy Corgan Sr. plays the guitar. Bill Burr says that he didn't play the guitar in the house. He played the piano, and I think it might have been the drums or something like that. Again, things that were a little bit off. Now, Bill Burr's always said that in reality, his dad's a dentist. Now, Billy Corgan's teeth, never the greatest, right? But Billy Corgan said his dad was a drug dealer. So who knows? Now, during the whole thing, Bill Burr does look at him a couple times. He's like, isn't that what he called? First of all, he calls his father a piece of shit. And then he goes, you know, you can never get away with that in this day and age in the internet, and kind of laughs about it, like having two families or whatever. So here we're going to show you some pictures before we get to the videos. And I said the snaggletooth. This is them on stage, I think around the 2008 period. Now I actually have videos of them together there as well. And there he is singing. That's Billy Corgan's dad. Now you ask me whether or not this looks like Bill Burr. Okay? Now, here's where it's going to get a little wilder. This is a concert where he brings up the father on stage. Now, again, the quality is piss poor. Piss poor. But I'm going to let you decide what you think about this video. Play it right from here.
Stay backstage. Just keep it together. We do the grammar school, and I used to get you up and tell you, Billy, get up, put your dress on, get to school. He walked me all the way. I said, look, you're going to be a fucking rock star, you got to start early. 8th grade, you got to wear that outfit, or you're not going to get anywhere. So. What's up, Clearwater?
Now, there he is, bald, very poor quality, but the voice, Sure doesn't sound like Billy Corgan. That voice sounds a lot like Bill Burr. Okay? So we're going to let you now check out another video where Billy Corgan brings his father on stage very far away. And we're going to seal the deal with the final video, but just think about that voice. And look, one of the things that is really messed up, but understandable at the time, if you think about this guy's psychology, like apparently when he won the lottery, he didn't tell his son, Billy Corgan, because he didn't want to pay him back the money he stole from him. Okay. and that was like his thought process. So he probably didn't want to mess up and call his kid the wrong name, you know, especially if he was into drugs and alcohol. So he just named them both the same thing, which Bill Burr is like, you never thought that was messed up? Well, they talk. So here it is. Here's the next video right here.
And also my second grade teachers here tonight, Mrs. Countryman. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Take your top off!
Pretty cool, right? Keeping it real. Everybody have a good time? Pop.
William!
I just want to say that this guy's matured into the best fucking musician I've ever.
So there's his dad again. Still got that voice. And now we're going to get a better look at his face. I'm going to turn the music off for this. All right, kind of play it in the background and discuss it. Here we go. Let's put that right here. So that's him in the backdrop. This is from the pictures that you saw. And look, again, we're having fun with this video. Let's thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. He certainly, again, has the voice, not of Billy Corgan, but has the voice of Bill Burr. And, you know, it seems like Bill Burr, you know, he said, you know, there's a reason I've never told that story before. So you take a look at him. We got one more video. When you see him in, you know, not muddy quality, and here he is right here. Here's a good look at him. Again, he looks a lot more like Bill Burr to me than he does Billy Corgan. So let's just, you know, skip it up right there. Skibbity bobbity boo. To them playing together. Some shots of them up close and personal. Here's where we're going to go to him playing Muddy Waters, I think it is. You can hear him actually singing. We're going to bring that up. We're going to unmute it. Here he goes. But there he is, bald and looking like a lot like Bill Burr.
Work for you like a Georgian mule. My friends are laughing, they call me a fool. Your kisses are sweet as can be. Before I let you make a fool out of me, you rather drink muddy water, lay down and sleep in a hollow log. I love you, baby, but you won't be there. You don't know how to build no square. Go and have your fun if you must. For I have a woman that I can trust. I drink mother water, drink that and then I hollow log. Muddy water, muddy water, muddy water, muddy water. I'd rather drink muddy water, lay down and sleep in a hollow log.
So there's just one more thing I'm going to note in this kind of, again, fun and short video. Remember when he's talking about his son getting him up for school and says, get up and put on your dress? And not only does he sound like Bill Burr, the put on your dress thing is something that Bill Burr said his father used to say to him too. You know what I mean? He's cracking those type of jokes. So I got to tell you, finding these videos, not being able to find anything with Bill Burr and his father also kind of further me down this rabbit hole. Makes me think, you know, there's probably, this isn't a Kaufman bit. It looks like reality to me, but I could be wrong. I get a lot of things wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's just go to Grok really quick. And by the way, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share if you like the video. For the hardcores, stick around. You're going to like this. This shows Grok basically admitting that my account is 60 to 70% likely suppressed. And you know that would be a low number, and that's specifics. So let's bring this just a little bit bigger for everybody. I asked statistically, what's the average amount of views a post gets for an X account with around 40,000 followers by the numbers only? Because I didn't want the long bloviated response I'll get in the next one. They say 2,000 to 5,000 per post. Now let's go here. Let's take a look at my posts, right? For my pinned post, that's been there for how long? 8,000. Think about that. 280 on the post that's going on right now. 554 earlier today. This one's not my post. It's a repost. 790. I can't even hit 1,000. 747. 716. 709. We're going to see if we can get to 1,000. I know I have 1,000. Let's see if we can get to a 2,000 post. 700. Let's see if I can hit just the bare minimum average at all. How far back I have to go. Not mine. 719. 949. 581. There's 1.1. It's still not my post. 952. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Not mine. 680. We haven't even hit the 1,000 mark. Here, 1.2. This is one of my biggest posts. February 5th. We're talking 4 days ago. Okay? Again, not my post. Like Stewart's account, which is much smaller, does well with me. There's 1,000. There's 1,000. Let's see. Not mine gets 2,000. Again, much smaller accounts. Again, not mine. Destiny, she's got a decent sized one, but still, she's not even hitting the 5. Not mine. Jimmy Dore's account. Naomi Wolf. Not mine. Again, talking about censorship like this. Here I am talking about yay. 1.2. I don't know that we're going to hit. Okay? I don't know that we're going to hit. There's 1.3, 2,000 anywhere. And Ruckus, my man, I think he's in there. Think about this. He's got a much smaller account. He hits 1.4 on that. Nothing. None of these are mine. None of them. See? We didn't come close to hitting 2,000. And we're into January right now. So the McGregor post, 1.5. Still can't do it. The Israeli, guys, it's a joke. So, going back to Grok right here. I said, if an account that does not contain spam is well below that, say under 1,000, is that account likely limited by the platform? So it talks about here. So they always try the several factors, but it starts with algorithmic suppression. All right, it prioritizes content based on engagement, relevance, and user behavior. If an account's posts do not engage, see, it's still trying to get saying it's not shadow banning. This often refers to shadow banning or algorithmic suppression. All right, see, the platform might flag as suspicious, even if not spam. A pattern of behavior. The visibility of the post could be reduced. All right, so now they try to tell you your posts aren't good enough, your timing's not good enough, your followers aren't good enough. Account health. See, right here. X occasionally takes actions against accounts for violations of terms of service, which might not be related to spam, but could involve other issues like copyright infringement or inappropriate content. So again, very broad. That's suppression. Okay? Here it goes, like going private. We're not private here. Okay? Is the account likely limited by the platform? It's possible, but not definitively certain. Okay? If the accounts post regularly achieve very low view counts compared to what's typical for its follower support, there might be algorithmic suppression or other visibility issues at play. But it always leaves the window, right? So I come down, if no posts in the month's time with constant engagement and roughly 3 posts a day never hits 5,000, which mine doesn't. View count, does that suggest further suppression on the platform? If an account with 40,000 followers, so there it is right here. Here are the considerations. So again, it gives me the same thing. All right, content fatigue. They're trying to say 3 posts a day is too much, folks. Let's be honest about this. Some of these accounts post 100 times a day. Has nothing to do with algorithmic suppression. And then they say the same thing. Engagement quality, content relevance, trends, follower base, etc. He goes, yes, the scenario does support the possibility of suppression or at least some algorithmic bias against an account of content. However, it's not conclusive without deeper analysis. So again, I don't need to go through further. I'll just ask it. Can you run a deeper analysis of the @JasonBermasX account and give a percentage in the likelihood of account limitation? Here's the shebango. Because again, I wanted numbers. They go engagement patterns. All right. There's an indication of dissatisfaction with follower growth and engagement, which might suggest visibility issues. However, this isn't conclusive for limitation. Okay. Content type. I'm known for political and conspiracy-related content. Such topics can sometimes face algorithmic challenges or moderation due to their controversial nature. You love that, right? It's telling me it's suppressing me. Okay, if the account has around 40,000 followers based on the context of the last query, but engagement is significantly low, this disparity might point towards algorithmic suppression. It says regular posting might not necessarily lead to higher visibility if the content doesn't resonate or if there are algorithmic biases. In other words, if we're suppressing it. You see what I'm saying? Right there. It's telling you. Content sensitivity, engagement discrepancy. Give me the number. So it says a 60 to 70%. All right? They would need direct confirmation otherwise. This assessment is based on the mismatch between follower count and engagement, the nature of the content, which might be more prone to algorithmic scrutiny, the user's expressed experience of stagnant growth despite high-profile appearances, all of which is 100% valid. Oh, only it's not 60 to 70. Let me tell you what it is. It's 100%. 100% unsuppressed. So that's why I need your help now more than ever. If you enjoyed this video, even though it's a fun one here, thumbs it up, subscribe, share, let everybody know about the channel. And by the way, we've got other videos on other platforms, such as the Malone interview with Dr. Robert Malone and his wife, Dr. Jill Malone, on the book Psy-War that they wrote together. That's only on the alternate platforms. I can't do it without you. So spread the love, spread the videos, spread the links, spread the documentary films. And remember, it is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. I hope you had fun with this one. I love you, and we'll see you on the flip.